Ever wonder why so many people look back on their 20s with regret? It's usually because they followed the wrong money advice that cost them years of progress. And I see it happening to my clients who now wish they made different choices in the past. So in this video, I'm gonna break down 5 of the biggest myths that you need to avoid and the simple proven moves that will actually set you up for the future that you feel proud of. First, let me show you why being able to pay for something doesn't necessarily mean you could actually afford it. So I had a colleague who couldn't stop talking about his new apartment, and it was a luxury high-rise with floor-to-ceiling windows, a rooftop pool, and a lobby that looked like a 5-star hotel. To get the keys, he drained most of his savings to cover the brokerage fee, the security deposit, and the first month's rent. And he even told me, yeah, I'll be living paycheck to paycheck for a little while, but it'll be the nicest place that he's ever lived in. And here's the thing, this is where most people get trapped. We convince ourselves that if the monthly payment fits our income, then we could afford it. But affording something isn't just about making the payments. It's about making it comfortably without sacrificing our financial safety net. And when you stretch your budget for the limit for a fancy apartment, a new car, or a big ticket purchase, you set yourself up for a constant financial pressure. And each month, your savings shrink, your stress grows, and one unexpected bill, like a medical bill or a job loss, could push you into debt. Like Jay-Z famously said, if you can't buy it twice, you can't afford it. And that doesn't mean you need to live like a monk. It just means that your lifestyle should allow you to save consistently, invest regularly, and still have cushions for emergencies. And real wealth isn't measured by how nice your apartment looks on Instagram. It's measured by the freedom and the peace of mind that you have when life throws you a curveball. Next, let me show you why playing it safe with your money can be the most expensive mistake that you make. I have a client named Leslie who did something most people struggle with. She built a 6-figure in her savings account. And on our very first call, I was very impressed. She's been disciplined, consistent, and had managed to grow it in her high yield savings account, earning 3.8% interest. But here's what's shocking. She was leaving a massive amount of money on the table. She had been taught her whole life to always play safe with your money and never risk too much. To her, investing was like gambling. And when I ran the numbers for her, that 6-figure nest egg would grow to $600,000 in 30 years at her current rate. And that's good, but if she had invested the same amount in a diversified portfolio, averaging a 7% a year, it could grow to over $1.6 million. That's an extra $1 million with one simple change. And the truth is, yes, investing comes with risk. Your portfolios can drop by 30% in a bad year, but there's also another type of risk that people don't usually talk about, which is the risk of doing nothing. And if you avoid investing entirely, you risk losing far more in opportunity cost, the potential wealth that you never get to build even with these short-term market crashes. In her case, playing it safe was quietly costing her $1 million. A real financial safety net doesn't mean hiding your money in a savings account forever. It means protecting it from inflation and giving it a chance to grow so your future self could actually enjoy the rewards of your hard work. Next, let me show you why waiting to start figuring things out could quietly become the most expensive decision of your life. You probably heard the phrase 30 is the new 20 or 40 is the new 30. And while that makes a cute Instagram caption, I think it's often a coping mechanism. The quote sounds very lighthearted, but for a lot of people, it's a way to ease the guilt of not taking action sooner and just delaying their responsibilities. And you tell yourself there's plenty of time, so you push off money decisions for future you to deal with. But trust me, the future you won't be thrilled when the bill for your procrastination shows up. And here's the truth. Something that I realized is that saving and building wealth only gets harder the older you get. In your 20s, you might have less income, but you usually have fewer responsibilities and less bills to pay. But by the time you reach your 30s and 40s, life piles on things that you may or may not have expected. A mortgage, kids, aging parents, maybe even debt that you've been carrying for years. And oh yeah, all those things are gonna be more expensive than you expect. And speaking from my own experience, I feel like I have less time and more obligations than I ever had in my 20s. So the real danger isn't just waiting, it's falling into that all or nothing mindset where if I can't save a lot right now, I won't bother saving at all. That's like saying if I can't run a marathon today, I'll never start exercising. Even small amounts helps, like $20, $50, or even $100 a month could grow into something significant over time thanks to compounding. And procrastination is one of those big wealth killers that I see in my clients. They think that they'll get serious about money later on, but later almost always comes with a bigger bill, higher expenses, and fewer years for your money to grow. And with inflation, Life isn't getting any cheaper anytime soon, and waiting doesn't just keep you in the same place, it actually pushes you backwards. Like that quote goes, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the second best time to do it is right now. And don't wait until you have more time, because you simply won't. And don't wait until things get easier, because they rarely do. Just start with what you can right where you are. Next, let me show you why chasing a bigger paycheck could actually keep you broke longer. Another common money trap is a belief that happiness comes from bigger paychecks. And on the surface, it sounds logical because more income means more freedom, more comfort, and more options. But here's the hidden problem. When you link your happiness to a higher income, you're also silently agreeing to spending more the moment you earn more. And instead of using the extra income to build wealth, most people let their spending rise right along with their salary. And it's called lifestyle creep. And it quietly robs you of the progress that you could be making. And I learned this lesson the hard way. My happiness didn't grow because I collected more stuff. It grew because I built more wealth. And wealth doesn't come from what you earn, it comes from what you keep. And the truth is, the higher income could be a double-edged sword. People waste years chasing those once-a-year raises or promotions, thinking that they're climbing the financial ladder, when they could be building wealth much faster through consistent habits like saving, investing, and resisting lifestyle creep. And I've seen it play out over and over. A teacher earning $50,000 post-tax a year who saves and invests 20% of their income often ends up wealthier than a lawyer who earns $150,000 post-tax who spends 95% of it. And the bottom line is this: a bigger paycheck could help, but it's not the magic key to financial freedom. Next, let me walk you through a money habit I didn't even realize existed until I saw it firsthand. One of my clients once surprised me with her approach to debt. She had $2,000 sitting in her savings account, but when a $2,000 expense came up, she ended up putting it on her credit card instead. And on paper, it doesn't make sense at all, where why pay a 20% interest when you could have just used cash to pay for it? But emotionally, that savings balance gave her a sense of security, even though it cost her hundreds in interest over time. And too many people have normalized credit card debt, and it's almost treating like a phone bill, just another payment that everyone has. But a high interest debt is not a harmless bill. It's a wealth killer, and you should be avoiding like a plague. And that's the tricky thing about money. It's not just about the math. It's deeply emotional, and while I might not agree with the decision, my job isn't to judge, it's to meet people where they are and understand their mindset and help them reframe how they think about money. And here's the reality. The average American household carries over $7,900 in credit card debt. And with interest rates now over 20%, that's a financial anchor weighing down millions of people. And most don't even realize how much it's costing them. For example, a $5,000 balance on your credit card at 20% interest, making only the minimum payment, will take you over 16 years to pay it off and cost you more than $6,500 in interest alone. And that's more than doubling the original cost of whatever you bought. And this debt doesn't have to be a natural part of life. The less you owe, the more control you have over your income, stress levels, and your future. Paying off your high interest debt isn't just a financial win, it's one of the fastest way to buy back your freedom. And even if you stop believing in all 5 of these myths, you could still be struggling with money. But there's one small factor that could change your financial life, even if you think you're bad with money. So watch this video next where I'll show you what that small factor is and how to start using it to your advantage today.